She would always be a phantom. When Lucius Cook arrived at the Wynn funeral home, memories of Eleanor once again dominated his thoughts. Uncertainty and regret attempted to dig their claws into him as they did the last time he saw her at the Cranes' grand house. That evening, she stood in the doorway as he drove away, her silhouette backlit, shadows denying him a last glimpse of her. He remembered one night they shared when she sat behind a one-way mirror to watch him. He knew she was there beyond his reflection. Now, in the funeral home bathroom, he glared into the mirror. "Are you there?" he whispered. He slipped his hand in the hip pocket of his blazer and gripped an old, narrow child's belt. It rested deep in his pocket like a coiled serpent. He found it days ago while cleaning out the attic of his modest, single-story rancher and was astounded he had kept it all these years. He slipped his fingers through the center of the rolled leather. As he made a fist, the leather stretched tight over his knuckles. His first inclination was to lash out and smash his reflection, to shatter the mirror into tiny shards so he could disappear within their many fractions. He sighed and held his free hand under the running faucet, then ran his wet hand down his clean-shaven face and finger-combed his dark brown bangs. Droplets fell from his chin onto his lapel and tie, a tie which once belonged to a famous New York fashion photographer. The door swung open. He slipped the rolled belt back inside his pocket. Kenneth Crane squeezed Lucius's shoulder before he went to stand before one of the wall urinals. At 6'3", Kenneth stood half a head taller than Lucius. He came to live with the Cranes when he was a boy, and he often, even to this day, felt like that same boy around Kenneth. As he dried his hands, he glanced in the mirror at Kenneth's broad-shouldered back. Kenneth was a well-groomed, highly sought-after corporate lawyer, named partner 7 years ago at the law firm of Morris and Langtry in Hartford, now Morris, Langtry, and Crane. Time had dulled the rich brown color of Kenneth's hair, and ribbons of gray followed its perfect contours. He washed his hands in the neighboring sink, his gold wedding band absent from his finger. "You okay?" he asked. Lucius only glared at himself in the mirror. Kenneth spoke over his shoulder as he dried his hands. "We can't change the past. Today, we pay our respects and then get on with our lives. It's best to let go. Come on, let's get this over with. You could be angry at her later. Today is not the day." Kenneth held open the bathroom door, and they went down the hallway. Lucius sucked in a breath as they approached the open doorway to the viewing room. When Kenneth squeezed his shoulder to guide them forward, Lucius drifted to the moment as a boy of 11 when he first met a younger Kenneth who, back then, like now, guided him into a viewing room to grieve a different loss. It was 1963. 11-year-old Lucius wore a white dress shirt and black trousers that the Edgewood foster home provided him for the occasion. The shirt fit, but the legs of the trousers fell short, leaving his white socks visible. Kenneth, known to him as Mr. Crane back then, towered over him and tugged his hand. He glanced upward ever so often to see the man's grim, tight-lipped smile and gentle nod. It was the only comfort he had in all the confusion. "It's okay, son. I'm here with you. Let's go in and say our goodbyes," Kenneth said. "Okay," it was all Lucius could say. His voice was small, hollow, and dry. His gaze scanned beyond the people who sat in the rows of chairs or stood around the room, to the 2 ornate carved mahogany boxes with gold plaques fixed to the fronts. The boxes sat atop a rectangular, rich-stained cherry wood table with curved legs positioned at the far end of the room. A weight fell over him like a heavy blanket as those in the room stopped to watch him. Some familiar faces, friends of his mom and dad. A few of the women dabbed tissues to their cheeks to catch their tears.